Not everyone who listens to your story genuinely wants the best for you. In life, we naturally feel the desire to share our experiences, struggles, dreams, and achievements with others because human beings seek connection and understanding to power. However, wisdom lies in recognizing that not every listener carries sincere intentions. Some people ask questions out of curiosity rather than care, and others may listen simply to compare, judge, or even compete silently. When you openly reveal every detail of your personal life, you unknowingly give access to your emotions, vulnerabilities, and future plans to individuals who may not value your well-being. Many people appear supportive on the surface, offering smiles, compliments, or encouraging words, yet their hearts may hold jealousy, insecurity, or hidden resentment. Success, happiness, or personal growth can unintentionally trigger negative feelings in others. When they know too much about your life, they may begin forming opinions, spreading unnecessary discussions, or waiting for your mistakes. Oversharing gives people material to analyze your choices and criticize decisions they do not fully understand. Protecting your privacy reduces the chances of becoming the subject of gossip or silent judgment. Another reality is that people interpret your life through their own experiences and limitations. Someone who has never pursued big dreams may discourage yours. Someone struggling internally may project fear onto your ambitions. When you share your plans too early, you expose them to doubt before they even have the opportunity to grow. Negative reactions, even subtle ones, can weaken confidence and plant unnecessary hesitation in your mind. Sometimes it is not hatred, but simply a lack of understanding that leads others to respond in ways that drain your motivation. Emotional vulnerability also requires caution. During difficult moments, you may feel the need to open your heart to anyone willing to listen. While expressing emotions is healthy, doing so with the wrong people can lead to disappointment. Not everyone knows how to protect sensitive information. A conversation shared in trust can easily become casual discussion elsewhere. Words spoken during weakness may later return in unexpected ways, leaving you feeling exposed or misunderstood. Choosing carefully who hears your struggles protects your emotional dignity. There is strength in selective sharing. Wise individuals observe before they speak, understanding that trust is built gradually through consistent actions, not friendly conversations alone. Instead of sharing everything with many people, it is better to confide in a small circle of individuals who have proven loyalty, empathy, and discretion over time. Genuine supporters celebrate your progress without comparison and respect your privacy without demanding explanations. Keeping parts of your life private does not mean becoming distant or cold. It simply reflects emotional intelligence and self-respect. Silence allows you to grow without pressure, heal without interference, and plan without distraction. When fewer people know your next move, you move with greater focus and less anxiety about others' expectations or reactions. Your energy remains directed toward improvement rather than managing opinions. In today's world where social sharing is constant and personal updates are often displayed publicly, maintaining privacy becomes even more powerful. Not every success needs an announcement, and not every struggle needs an audience. Peace increases when you stop explaining your life to everyone and start protecting your inner world. By understanding that not everyone genuinely wishes you well, you learn to value discretion, trust wisely, and safeguard your journey from unnecessary negativity and external influence. Privacy is one of the most powerful tools for protecting inner peace. Yet many people underestimate its importance. When too many individuals know the details of your personal life, you unintentionally invite opinions, expectations, and judgments into spaces that should remain calm and secure. Every person views life through their own beliefs, experiences, and insecurities, which means that once your personal matters become public, they are no longer fully yours. Instead, they become topics of discussion shaped by perspectives that may not align with your reality. Sharing personal struggles, goals, relationships, or decisions with a wide audience often leads to an overload of advice. While some suggestions may come from good intentions, constant input from different people creates confusion rather than clarity. One person encourages you to move forward. Another warns you to stop, and someone else questions your choices entirely. Over time, the noise of external opinions begins to drown out your own intuition. You start second-guessing decisions that once felt right simply because too many voices are influencing your thinking. Mental peace depends greatly on emotional boundaries. When personal information spreads beyond trusted circles, people may feel entitled to comment on your life. Questions become frequent, expectations increase, and you may feel pressure to explain yourself repeatedly. This pressure can quietly build stress, making you feel observed or evaluated, even when you are simply living your life. Privacy removes this invisible burden by allowing you to exist without constant explanation. Another challenge of oversharing is comparison. Once others know your goals or progress, they may compare your journey with theirs or with someone else's achievements. These comparisons can create subtle competition or unrealistic standards. You might begin measuring your success based on external validation rather than personal growth. Protecting your privacy helps you stay focused on your own pace without feeling rushed or inadequate. Peace also comes from emotional safety. When fewer people know about your difficulties, you reduce the chances of receiving insensitive reactions or unwanted criticism during vulnerable moments. Not everyone understands how to respond with empathy. Some may minimize your struggles, offer harsh judgments, or unintentionally make you feel worse. Maintaining privacy ensures that your healing process remains protected from reactions that could deepen emotional wounds. Silence often provides space for reflection. When you keep certain matters private, you give yourself time to think, pray, and make decisions without outside interference. This quiet space strengthens self-awareness and emotional maturity. Instead of reacting to others' opinions, you learn to listen to your inner voice and trust your own judgment. Decisions made in calm reflection usually bring more lasting peace than those influenced by pressure or urgency created by external expectations. In relationships, privacy also strengthens respect. People tend to value individuals who maintain boundaries because it shows self-control and confidence. When you do not reveal everything immediately, others recognize that access to your personal life must be earned through trust and consistency. This naturally filters out those who are merely curious from those who genuinely care about your well-being. In a world driven by constant communication and social sharing, choosing privacy becomes an act of self-preservation. Not every emotion needs to be posted, discussed, searched, or explained. Protecting certain parts of your life allows you to experience moments fully without worrying about how they will be perceived by others. Your happiness becomes more authentic because it is lived rather than displayed, and your struggles become easier to manage because they are handled in safe, controlled spaces. When you limit how much of your life is shared, you regain ownership of your thoughts, emotions, and decisions. Peace grows when fewer people are involved in matters that belong only to you, allowing your mind to remain calm, focused, mission, and free from unnecessary interference and emotional noise. Moving in silence is a powerful discipline that allows goals, dreams, and personal growth to develop without unnecessary pressure or distraction. Many people feel excited when they set new goals, and the natural reaction is to immediately share plans with friends, family, or social media. Speaking about ambitions can feel motivating in the moment, but constant discussion of unfinished plans often weakens the energy needed to actually achieve them. When goals are announced too early, the mind experiences temporary satisfaction as if progress has already been made, reducing the urgency to take consistent action. Silence protects focus. When fewer people know what you are working toward, there are fewer expectations to manage. You are free to experiment, make mistakes, learn quietly, and improve without fear of judgment. Growth is rarely perfect. It involves setbacks, failures, and adjustments that are easier to handle when they happen privately. Public goals invite public reactions, and those reactions can influence emotions more than the work itself. Encouragement may feel good, but doubt, criticism, or skepticism can slowly erode confidence before success has the chance to appear. Another reason to move in silence is that not everyone understands your vision. People evaluate ideas based on their own experiences and limitations. Someone who has never taken risks may see your ambition as unrealistic. Someone comfortable with routine may view change as dangerous. When you expose your plans to individuals who cannot imagine your success, their words may plant seeds of hesitation. Even small negative comments can stay in the mind, creating fear that was never present before the conversation. Silence shields your vision during its most fragile stage, allowing belief to strengthen before facing the outside world. Working quietly also builds discipline. Instead of seeking validation through words, you learn to rely on consistent effort. The focus shifts from talking about success to creating it step by step. Daily actions become more important than announcements. Progress made in private feels deeply personal because it comes from dedication rather than approval. This mindset strengthens resilience as motivation begins to come from internal purpose rather than external praise. There is also wisdom in allowing results to speak louder than intentions. Many people talk extensively about what they plan to do but struggle to follow through. Quiet achievers, however, often surprise others because their work happens away from attention. When success finally becomes visible, it carries greater impact because it is supported by real accomplishment rather than repeated promises. Achievements revealed through action earn respect naturally, without the need for explanation. Silence reduces pressure as well. Once goals are shared publicly, people may ask for updates, timelines, or outcomes. These questions, even when harmless, can create anxiety and a sense of urgency that interferes with natural progress. Personal growth happens at different speeds, and constant monitoring from others can make you feel behind, even when you are. In moving forward steadily, keeping plans private allows you to work at your own pace, guided by progress rather than expectation. Moving in silence also protects emotional energy. Every conversation about your goals requires mental effort, explanation, and sometimes defense against doubt. By conserving that energy, you invest more into learning, practicing, and improving. The less you talk, the more you act. The more you act, the closer you move toward meaningful results. Quiet progress encourages humility. Instead of seeking recognition before achievement, you remain grounded and focused on improvement. Humility attracts genuine respect because people notice consistent effort without self-promotion. Your journey becomes authentic, shaped by perseverance rather than attention. Choosing silence does not mean hiding success forever or isolating yourself from others. It means understanding timing. Plants need protection while they are developing, just as seeds grow best beneath the soil before appearing above the surface. By allowing goals to mature privately, you create stronger foundations. Clearer focus, levering, you create stronger foundations and deeper confidence that comes from steady work rather than early applause. Many people feel an unconscious need to share their experiences, achievements, emotions, and daily moments with others because they seek validation. Human beings naturally want to feel seen, appreciated, and understood. But when personal happiness becomes dependent on external approval, emotional stability begins to weaken. Not every moment in life requires an audience, and learning to live without constant validation is a powerful step toward confidence and inner peace. Validation creates temporary satisfaction. When people praise your success, like your posts, or admire your lifestyle, it produces a short-lived feeling of happiness. However, this feeling often fades quickly, leading to a desire for more recognition. Over time, individuals may begin shaping their actions around what will impress others rather than what genuinely fulfills them. Decisions start revolving around appearance instead of purpose, and personal moments lose authenticity because they are experienced through the lens of public reaction rather than private meaning. When life is constantly shared, emotions become tied to responses from others. If appreciation is received, confidence rises. If attention is lacking, self-doubt quietly appears. This emotional dependence gives others silent control over how you feel about yourself. True confidence, however, grows when you learn to appreciate your own journey without needing constant reassurance. Personal achievements hold deeper value when they are meaningful to you, not just impressive to others. Living without seeking validation encourages self-awareness. Instead of asking how others will react, you begin asking whether an action aligns with your values and goals. This shift strengthens identity because choices come from internal clarity rather than external pressure. You start enjoying moments fully, celebrations, progress, learning experiences, and even struggles without feeling the need to document or explain them. Experiences become more genuine when they are lived rather than displayed. Oversharing for validation can also expose vulnerability to unnecessary judgment. Not everyone views your life with kindness or understanding. Some people compare, criticize, or misunderstand situations without knowing the full story. Seeking approval from a wide audience increases the likelihood of encountering negativity that can damage self-esteem. Protecting personal moments preserves emotional safety and prevents unnecessary emotional fluctuations caused by others' opinions. Silence, in this context, becomes a form of strength. Choosing not to share everything demonstrates emotional independence. It shows that happiness is not dependent on applause or attention. Individuals who are comfortable keeping meaningful parts of their lives private often develop deeper confidence because they know their worth does not rely on external recognition. Their joy remains stable because it comes from personal fulfillment rather than public acknowledgement. Another benefit of avoiding constant validation is the ability to grow without comparison. When personal milestones are shared publicly, they often invite comparisons with others' achievements. This comparison culture can create pressure to compete, rush progress, or feel inadequate despite genuine success. Keeping certain moments private allows growth to unfold naturally, free from the distraction of measuring your life against someone else's timeline. Privacy also enhances gratitude. When experiences are not immediately shared, they become more intimate and personally significant. Small victories feel richer because they are cherished internally rather than evaluated externally. Gratitude deepens when attention shifts from how others perceive your life to how you personally experience it. Learning to live without constant validation builds emotional resilience. You become less affected by praise or criticism because self-worth no longer depends on fluctuating opinions. Confidence grows quietly through self-acceptance, personal reflection, and meaningful progress. Instead of performing life for an audience, you begin living it with intention, authenticity, and inner satisfaction that does not require approval, recognition, or external confirmation to feel complete or valuable. Personal information carries emotional weight because it reflects your thoughts, experiences, weaknesses, and private realities. When shared carelessly, this information can sometimes be used against you in ways you never expected. Many people open up during moments of trust, comfort, or emotional wonder, not believing that conversations will remain safe and confidential. However, not everyone understands the responsibility that comes with knowing someone's personal struggles or sensitive details. Once words leave your mouth, you lose control over how they may be remembered, interpreted, or repeated. During emotional conversations, people often reveal fears, insecurities, relationship problems, financial challenges, or past mistakes. In that moment, sharing may feel relieving because expressing emotions reduces internal pressure. The danger appears later when circumstances change, relationships evolve, misunderstandings happen, or conflicts arise, and information once shared in confidence may resurface unexpectedly. Someone who once listened with empathy may recall those details during disagreements, turning private vulnerabilities into points of criticism or judgment. Gossip is another risk connected to oversharing. Even individuals who do not intend harm may casually repeat information during conversations with others. What began as a private discussion can slowly spread through social circles, losing accuracy along the way. Each retelling adds personal interpretation, exaggeration, or misunderstanding. Eventually, your story may exist in a distorted form that no longer reflects the truth. Protecting personal information reduces the possibility of becoming the subject of conversations you are not present to clarify. Oversharing can also affect how others perceive you. When people know too much about your struggles, they may unintentionally define you by those moments rather than recognizing your growth. Past difficulties, emotional reactions, or temporary setbacks can shape lasting impressions. Even after you have changed or improved, others may continue viewing you through outdated information. Maintaining privacy allows you to control how your character and identity are presented over time. Emotional safety requires boundaries. Trust should be built gradually through consistent actions rather than immediate openness. True trust develops when someone repeatedly demonstrates loyalty, respect, and discretion. Sharing everything too quickly removes the natural process of evaluating who has earned access to your deeper experiences. By limiting personal disclosures, you protect yourself from emotional harm while allowing relationships to develop unstable foundations. Another important aspect is self-respect. Keeping certain matters private reflects an understanding of your own value. Not every experience needs explanation, justification, or discussion. Some lessons, struggles, and personal transformations are meant to remain part of your internal journey. When you respect your own boundaries, others learn to respect them as well. People tend to treat you according to the standards you establish regarding your privacy. In moments of anger or disappointment, individuals sometimes use previously shared information as a way to regain control or defend themselves. Comments referencing personal weaknesses can hurt deeply because they reveal that sensitive details were remembered not only with empathy but also with potential judgment. Avoiding unnecessary disclosure minimizes the chances of emotional wounds reopening during conflicts. Maintaining privacy does not mean avoiding meaningful relationships or refusing emotional connection. Instead, it means practicing wisdom and choosing where vulnerable belongs. Healthy openness exists within environments of proven trust, mutual respect, and emotional maturity. Sharing selectively ensures that personal stories are held by people who honor them rather than misuse them. Protecting your personal information strengthens emotional independence. You become less exposed to manipulation, misunderstanding, or regret caused by revealing too much too soon. Boundaries act as emotional protection. Allowing you to express yourself thoughtfully while safeguarding your dignity, confidence, and inner security from situations where your own words could later become tools of criticism or misunderstanding. Healthy relationships are not built on knowing every detail about someone's life, but on mutual respect, trust, and understanding of personal boundaries. Many people believe that closeness requires complete openness, yet emotional maturity teaches that strong connections allow space for individuality and privacy. Sharing selectively does not weaken relationships. Instead, it strengthens them by creating an environment where trust grows naturally rather than being forced through constant disclosure. Boundaries are an essential part of emotional intelligence. They define where your personal space begins and where others' access ends. When individuals respect their own boundaries, they communicate self-respect and emotional awareness. People who understand boundaries recognize that privacy is not secrecy or distance. It is simply a way of protecting emotional well-being. Real relationships do not demand constant explanations, updates, or access to every thought and experience. Instead, they thrive on sincerity, patience, and genuine care. When someone respects your boundaries, they show that they value you as a person rather than as a source of information. They do not pressure you to reveal personal matters before you feel comfortable, nor do they become offended when certain topics remain private. This level of understanding creates emotional safety, allowing trust to deepen over time. Relationships built on respect feel calm and secure. Be calm. Use both individuals. Honor each other's comfort levels without judgment. Oversharing too early in relationships can sometimes create imbalance. One person may become emotionally exposed while the other has not yet earned that level of trust. This imbalance can lead to disappointment if the relationship changes or fails to develop as expected. Gradual sharing allows both individuals to build confidence in one another through consistent actions rather than emotional intensity alone. Trust becomes stronger when it is earned step by step. Respecting boundaries also encourages healthier communication. Instead of feeling obligated to discuss everything, conversations become more meaningful and intentional. People learn to listen carefully, respond thoughtfully, and value what is shared because it is given willingly rather than out of pressure. Selective sharing transforms communication into a sign of trust rather than a habit of oversharing. Strong individuals understand that privacy reflects maturity, not distance. They recognize that everyone carries personal struggles, dreams, and reflections that may not always be ready for discussion. Mature relationships allow both people to grow individually while supporting each other emotionally. There is no need for constant reassurance or proof of loyalty through unlimited access to personal information. Boundaries also prevent misunderstandings and conflicts. When expectations about sharing are clear, there is less chance of feeling betrayed or overwhelmed. Each person understands what is appropriate to discuss and what remains personal. This clarity reduces emotional tension and strengthens long-term connection because respect replaces assumption. Another important aspect of real relationships is trust in actions rather than words. Someone who consistently shows kindness, reliability, and discretion proves their care more than someone who simply asks many questions. Over time, trust grows through shared experiences, honesty, and mutual respect. As trust strengthens, deeper conversations happen naturally without force or urgency. Maintaining personal boundaries helps preserve individuality within relationships. You remain connected while still honoring your own identity, thoughts, and emotional space. This balance allows relationships to remain healthy rather than dependent. When both people respect privacy, the connection feels supportive instead of overwhelming. Relationships are defined not by how much you reveal, but by how safe you feel when you choose to share. Respect for boundaries creates an atmosphere where openness becomes meaningful, trust develops naturally, and emotional connection grows through understanding rather than obligation or constant exposure of every personal detail or experience.